Did you hear?
It's been 20 years on Panther Way.
Teresa, Tuttle, and Brittany Burton, Family Consumer Sciences at Knox Central.
I'm Brittany Burton, and I'm the Family Consumer Sciences culinary teacher here at Knox Central High School. I'm a graduate of Knox Central, class of 2012, and I'm going to let Ms. Tuttle introduce herself.
Okay, I'm Teresa Tuttle. I was the former Family Consumer Science teacher here at Knox Central. I actually graduated from Whitley County, but I worked 1 year in the old Knox Central building. That was my first year of teaching. And I've been in the new building here, I was here 10 years.
Good. Okay, so 20 years on Panther Way. Just going to ask you, what does that mean to you when I say those words? It's, can't believe it's been 20 years. So, Ms. Burton, you can go first. What's 20 years look like here?
So I was the very first 7th grade class at the middle school when they started the middle school to high school transition. So it's just crazy to me that it's been that long since all of this began. And of course, whenever we went from the old school to the new school, it was really exciting. Even though it had been 2 years, everything was still really new and fresh here. And I think that they have built a great legacy here on Panther Way, and that the direction that everything is going is really great here. And I've loved my time. I love my time as a student, and so far I've loved my time as a teacher here.
Ms. Tuttle, what's 20 years on Panther Way mean to you?
Well, I think they were great years. I really liked my job here. I started out early childhood was my pathway, and then of course now she has transitioned to the culinary pathway, which I think is fantastic. But overall, my years here were great.
Good. Tell us a little bit about the pathway. So, for those that don't know, Ms. Tuttle has taught Family Consumer Sciences, and now that pathway is transitioning into culinary. So, tell us a little bit about what that looks like. Maybe when you started, and then Ms. Burton can pick up kind of what it looks like today.
Okay, well, actually, since I've been here, it's been early childhood. You know, when I first started teaching, we didn't actually have pathways. It was just considered home economics at the time. It had just transitioned, actually. But in the old building, we had food labs. And so I taught multiple things there. But since I've been here, just the early childhood. So, and of course, I taught some foods and nutrition classes and life skills classes and things like that. But overall, it was early childhood. Pathway was early childhood when I was here.
Do you have a class you like teaching the most?
Life skills, because it is a combination of everything we teach. Sewing and food and finance and early childhood. Yeah. So that is by far my favorite.
So it's changed now. It's completely different. So Ms. Burton, can you tell us a little bit about culinary and what that looks like?
So I think people have a misunderstanding about Family and Consumer Sciences as a whole, because they refer to it as home economics. But there's actually, I'm not sure exactly how many different pathways you can teach under the umbrella. So the pathway is Family and Consumer Sciences, then you have different directions. So when I started here last year, I took over from Ms. Tuttle and started with the ECE pathway, the early childhood. And then we just transitioned to culinary. As far as student interest, there was a higher student interest. They wanted to cook. They wanted to do fun things. They all were like, oh, we don't want to work with kids. We don't want to do this. So Mr. Frost and I got together and we did a survey to see what pathway students would most be interested in. And culinary, I mean, there was, I think, 365 votes and over 200 were for culinary. It's nice to be able to teach kids life skills through cooking. And food service is a big industry here in our area. A lot of students here work fast food restaurants, so that helps them be prepared to go into that career, or if they want to go to culinary school, or they want to own a restaurant or anything like that, home bakers. But I think that it's going in a really great direction. We've done a lot of great things, catering events. We did our coffee sales. Students really enjoy that. Staff really enjoys that. We do teacher lunches on Fridays, where teachers can order lunch from our students and they prepare it and deliver it to them. Overall, I just think that it's going in a great direction.
Good. We'll talk a little bit about memories as Miss Tuttle as a teacher, and then maybe Miss Burton as a student. And Miss Burton can go first. Any good memories, good teachers, like from your time as a student or early teaching here?
Well, there are definitely a lot. I'll start with teachers before I go with memories. So my senior year was Molly Shield's first year here as the art teacher, and she had a huge impact on me my senior year. She has always just been loving, supportive of no matter what it is. Gave great life advice, and never in a million years would I have thought that we would be working in the same building, because my future plans were to not be a high school teacher. It was to be elementary teacher. I taught elementary 5 years before coming here. So some other great ones that I had were Melody Middleton, which has been interviewed here on the podcast. Kim Mahan Messer, she was wonderful. Miss Rhodes, honorable mention. She was like my school mom. I was in my senior year, I think I had her 3 times a day. So all of those great teachers. Oh, and Frank Shelton, I had Frank Shelton for media my sophomore, junior year. Actually in the same classroom. This is where our classroom was. I think all of those teachers, I've got a new appreciation for them now that I teach high school. I see how hard that they worked and how much love that they poured into us, and what a difference that it made. As far as memories, I have some good and some bad memories. I know, Justin, you probably remember this, but I tell kids all the time that when our sophomore year, we had to call and ask for escorts to the bathroom, that the bathrooms were on lockdown. We weren't allowed to be out in the hallway at all, ever, without, we had agenda books back in the day. Some good memories that we had, our KC Pep section, it wasn't the KC Crazies yet, was always insane. One distinct memory is we were playing district here, and we had a piñata of the opposing team's head, and we hung it from the rafters and beat the piñata. That was it was Dinky Phipps. He was the coach at Barberville at the time, and we made a piñata of his head and hung it above the Pep section. And ball games, sporting events, all those were great memories.
Miss Tuttle, good memories, good teaching friends, I guess, over the years, and anything from your 10 years here at Knox Central.
Okay. Well, first I'll go way back to when I was in school. It was home economics then, and you could just take 2 years. We took sewing one semester and foods one semester. And so that was the program then, when I was in school. But that was what, I guess, fed my desire to want to teach in this. And then I had my family and went back to school. So I started a little bit late as far as teaching, but lots of good memories. I guess the teachers I had mostly had great home ec teachers. So that was a reason that I wanted to teach. So I got that opportunity. I've had really great students since I've been here. Just fantastic, and overall. And what I taught, I picked up actually, the finance part and all the other extra early childhood and things beyond what I had in high school. And I think that's been beneficial to the students that I've had. So, but I had great memories of my time here.
Yeah. We have looked at the years between the old building up to here. So I guess you were at the old building for a year, you said, then you started back up here. Mm-hmm. And so tell us a little bit about the difference in teaching in town and then teaching up here. I know you were only there a year, but.
Well, we were in different buildings then.
Yeah, all over the place, right?
Yeah.
5 different or 6 different buildings.
Mm-hmm. Home ec was upstairs. Art was upstairs in the little building. I think it may be GED now or something.
Yeah.
And then ag was downstairs. So there wasn't as much as far as, and I was just there a year, but not as much as getting to know teachers as there is here, because they're just, the proximity to everybody was just not like it is here. So that's a big thing. I think being in the same building is great.
How did it feel to be in a new building? I mean, it was still relatively new.
It was still relatively new.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice,
Yeah.
I've had things to work with, and so yeah, it's been nice being in this building.
And Ms. Burton talked about, if you don't know, I'm behind the camera. We were our first class at the Knox Middle School now, so we got to experience the old building in a different way. So tell us about your first day as a student here. It still was practically brand new at that time in 2008. I mean, it wasn't hardly a couple years old, so I mean, how the old building felt too,
My very first day here, I'll never forget, my mom was driving me to drop me off, and I cried the whole way here. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to start high school. It's too big. I mean, I really cried. I was like, just take me back to the middle school. But once we started, and things were a little different then, we had a freshman schedule, and I don't know if you remember that, but we were contained basically to one hallway. Our bell schedule was different. We rotated on a different schedule. We had freshman only lunch. So that made the transition a little easier. But once I got here, I realized that it's like a big family, and it still is. Everybody fits in somewhere. The teachers are going to make you feel welcome. It always seems that you have one or two teachers that you just gravitate toward, and they really help you find your spot here. But at the old school, being there as a middle schooler, I couldn't imagine that. Now that I've been here, being the high school, like I couldn't imagine how it worked. I don't know. It just seems really strange to me that this many kids, and way more then than now, fit at the old school.
Yeah. We've asked everybody that's came through these podcasts to define the word success in your own words and what that means to you, because it looks different for everybody. So, Ms. Tuttle, if you want to go first, what does success mean to you?
I think success is just being able to accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish.
So I think success is whatever you want to do your very best at it to the best of your ability. Give it your all, give 110%, and accomplish those goals that you set.
Yeah. Last question we'll ask is a message to Knox County. We've asked every person that's sitting in these seats if they could tell the viewers one message, whether it's a thank you or a wish them well or any piece of advice. What would you tell Knox County and the viewers that watch this?
So for me, it's support your local schools, and what we do here is important. Everybody may not see it, or you may see the bad side, but there are great things going on here and all over Knox County in every school. Just be supportive of kids, be supportive of teachers, and that's all I have.
Ms. Tuttle, you got a message?
Just to continue the support, like she said. We have fantastic teachers, I'm sure all over the county, but I know here because I've worked with them. So just to be aware of all the things the kids have opportunities to do here, and just continue with the support.